Elation, funny path until it's not. Very big community split on how good people think this path is, as it's really a weird release and a misunderstood path where a lot of people are actually not picking up about what the path can become, so let's talk about it.
Stuck grinding in Honkai Star Rail? Need Stellar Jades fast? We've got you covered. Head over to U7 Buy, your ultimate gaming hub for save fast and cheap in-game top-ups. Whether it's Star Rail or your other favorite games, U7 delivers instantly and players love it. Check out their Trustpilot reviews, they're actually top ranked. On the Honkai Star Rail direct top-up page, you can recharge your account in seconds. For example, 8080 Honorific Shards cost $99.99 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, you can see here it's way cheaper. Just pick your server, enter UID, pay securely, and boom, your account is instantly loaded. Want extra savings? Use code PRETSR at checkout for 5% off, perfect for last minute pulls, battle passes, or surprising a friend. And here's a bonus. If you spend $80 a month on U7 Buy, you can grab the Honkai Star Rail Express Pass for only 1 cent, which is nearly free. Click on the link in my description, recharge fast, save more, and keep blazing those trails.
So Elation, as we know, brought a brand new mechanic to the game, a lot of them at that. New mechanics would include Punchline, Aha Instant, and then some general specific stuff for it, just like merrymaking and stuff, but also the main thing, Elation damage. The Aha Instant and stuff is mainly something that ties towards the gameplay of Elation characters. It is a universal thing because it's able to proc with non-Elation teams and no Elation teammate on the team. Of course, when it procs, it's relatively worthless, as it's just a bunch of balls flying around and doing like 3 damage, but that is the main focus of the entire path. Every Elation character is going to be able to build a punchline, increase Elation damage, and more punchline is more Elation damage anyways. Their main forms of damage is going to come from the Aha Instant. We were at the very start of the meta as we did just get Yaguang, and she is the support so far for it. And then in like 2 more weeks as I'm uploading this, we're gonna get Sparxie, who was like the first DPS slash sub DPS, depending on how you look for it, for Elation teams. So at the start, a lot of people are looking at the strength of Elation based off of these 2 characters. It is objectively impossible to see how strong Elation can be with just the release of Yaguang, as she is a support for Elation but cannot really be utilized fully, of course, since there is not a full Elation team to use her on. Hell, there's not even a Elation character to use her with. So I already had this in my first impressions video, but I really did just talk about how she was just released at a really bad time. It's great that they released a support earlier on, but it's also another thing where the support can't really go on any other team as a best in slot for a solid few weeks until the character that can use her is released. In this case, it would be Sparxie. But then, let's say we fast forward a little bit, Sparxie does release, and then we have a team of Yaguang, Sparxie, and then 2 characters that are not going to be Elation. Of course, if you want to run this team, the main focus is going to be Sparxie as a main DPS, so you run Sparkle, and then last slot goes to Sustain, or a Sustainless slot that fits in. This is the first quote-unquote Elation team, but something that people don't understand is this team is also very much incomplete. It's very easy to tell once you fully grasp Elation as a whole playstyle and mechanic that very much the more Elation characters on the team is going to increase its power. Of course, obvious signs would be someone like Sparxie's Trace, where based off more Elation characters on the team, she can get more thrill. Where it's like 1, 2, and then 3, where 1, 2 provide the same thing, and then 3 actually provide something, so it's very clearly the fact that she's going to want a 3rd character, which we do not have, to be Elation, to get the full effect of that. But the more characters that are Elation on the team is also going to result in this, which is going to be universally good. More punchline, which is going to make Aha Instant do more damage. Of course, in their kit, they might have something to benefit overall Elation characters, such as increasing Elation itself, providing any forms of buffs and debuffs that would be good for the Elation characters. But then the other universal thing, which is their own Elation skill. Even if they are not directly helping out the other characters like Sparxie or Yaguang, when it comes to their damage, such as increasing Elation overall, so everything besides punchline generation, they are going to add a whole other Elation skill, which is going to be their forms of main damage, as that is the primary focus of the entire playstyle. So the more Elation characters that get added, the more team diversity is added as well, which leads into more Elation skills being procced on the Aha Instant, so every Aha Instant is going to do significantly more damage as opposed to what we have right now. Right now, as I'm uploading this, you can only get Yaguang, so once Sparxie releases, you can get those 2, and then in the future, when we get our 3rd character, you can have up to 3, and then in the future, if there is a full mono Elation team, that is 4 Elation skills. So right now, a lot of people are evaluating the strength of the Elation team just by the release of Yaguang and Sparxie, and they're having a very warped view on it, just because the team together, while strong, is only really something that is performing great in their shield environment, and that's like the new boss and stuff and new Elation mechanic. and enemies related to Elation from Planet Arcadia and such. But the biggest message you need to understand here is the Elation team is just not complete. For a actual example that has happened in the game, remember all the way back on the anniversary when Castris did release. She was a really good DPS to release, one of the best even then. But she obviously isn't the Castris that we know now with the team she does have, because her teammates just did not exist at the time. The only super synergistic character when it came to buffing her was just Tribi. There was no perfect healer that was able to heal and drain like she would want. There was no other forms of buffers, there was no sub DPS that you really wanted to use. This was gradually released with more Remembrance characters. The patch right after that, 3.3, introduced Hyacinth, which was the pixel perfect healer able to drain HP with her light cone and provide a bunch of max HP and such, provide a lot of AoE healing to generate you a bunch of new blood, which is what really helped Castris hit that different level. But then we also got Evernight, and then to top it all off, we got Cyrene. You can see she started at a solid level, which is exactly what Yagwang and sparxie are doing, but the further we went on, that's how the team really got solidified as the best team in the game by far. Castris wasn't this good when she released, and with Hyacinth, of course, she was like really good, but she still wasn't like the end all be all team. That was not until Evernight was introduced. Once Evernight was introduced, that's when the team really was set up perfectly. They didn't even need Cyrene, to be honest. Like, Cyrene is like the reason it's just like at such a high bar. But the story of this is just to tell you that it didn't all start like this. Castris wasn't this insane, broken, full-on DPS to do everything she does now when she released. It took time for everything to actually release to hit that level. And funny enough, a lot of people did actually evaluate Castris as she was. Everyone's like, she's fine, but like it's not gonna really be that crazy. Like you could very much like focus on a different shield that's probably going to happen. But then we got Hyacinth, then eventually we got Evernight, then we got Cyrene, and now look at the team. It's gonna be a very similar thing with Elation, where they're going to start weak and probably end up being one of the best teams in the game, if not two of the best teams in the game, if they do go the branch route that we are expecting. As of now, we're expecting there to be two Elation teams, and that's actually going to split Yagwang and sparxie onto two different teams. But of course, we're gonna have to wait and see on that fully. Nonetheless, even if you keep them on the same team, as long as more Elation characters are on the team, at least 3 to get a big potential, like every Elation character you add onto that existing team is going to make it really good. So a lot of people evaluating sparxie and Yagwang as a team right now performs good. It's not anything like the higher 3.x level, of course, but that's just because the team is not complete whatsoever. Give it a bit of time. Once we hit anniversary, we get more Elation characters and more Elation variety, and a team consisting of 3 to 4 Elation characters, that is where the strength is going to really lie. And even then, there's going to be more characters at least a little bit later on, maybe not at the extent of Remembrance, but there's going to be some form of upgrades to the team, where eventually it leads into a full 4-man Elation team, and you get 4 Elation skills, all synergistic with each other, all generating punchline for insane instants, all increasing Elation overall, all providing buffs and debuffs that benefit each other. That's when the team is going to go from like the, it's alright, to like the, oh my god, this team is broken. It's a big misconception. A lot of people are, again, evaluating Yagwang and sparxie at this lower level, just because, yeah, like right now, they're good, but they're not like insane, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's going to be the extent of it. I thought people would learn by now that it's just not going to be how it is. They always start at like a solid position and then end up shooting high with every release. That is going to be the same thing that is happening here. Like, we're probably going to have this team, and then we hit anniversary where we get Silverwolf as like the main Elation DPS, a team around her, maybe one unit later on, and then a different team for Yai, or maybe even the same team, and that's when the team goes from like, it's alright, to oh my god, this team might even become Remembrance tier. Moral of this is just to understand, don't evaluate Elation as its full team potential as we have it now. The releases are weird. We got Yagwang to be soloed and not really being able to be fully utilized on a team just yet. Then we're getting a sparxie where she is utilized, but the team is still not complete. Needs at least one more character to fully function. Once we get to 4.2 and above, with the anniversary and stuff and more Elation characters, then you can probably start analyzing the full Elation team at its proper strength. But that does bring this video to a close. Just talking about Elation, talking about why it's relatively misunderstood right now, why it's just going to get better and better, since with how the entire mechanic works, they don't have to say, oh, for each Elation character, increase this, that. Universally, it's just going to be better because each character is going to increase Elation, each character is going to increase the instant speed, because most of them are probably going to be built a bit on the faster side. More punch side generation, which is universally good for instants, and then probably synergistic with each other with buffs and debuffs. And then, of course, the Elation skill itself, which is the biggest source of damage, always going to add up to significantly more than missing an Elation character on a team. But comment down below what you do think of Elation so far. Are you guys excited to see what it does become in the future, or do you for some reason think it's not going to become as good? I do hope you found this video helpful or enjoyable. Dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all the types of Star Wars content, and I'll see you later. Peace out.